I'd like to bring up 2 points here. 1, Adam Driver is way too good for this movie. 2, Carrie Fisher does not play Princess Leia in these movies. She plays old Carrie Fisher. There's no Leia spark, no spunk, nothing. It's just an old lady. And while we're on the subject, Carrie Fisher died almost a year before this movie was released. They had plenty of time to swap the deaths. So instead of having Leia live for no reason and having Luke die for no reason, they could have used this point of the movie to organically remove Leia from the story using footage they already had right here, instead of having to spend even more money shoehorning old footage of her into The Rise of Skywalker. Conversely, at the end of this movie, they could have had Luke not die from Force Skyping. Oh, wait, that would be 2017. Not die from Force Discording. On top of that, Leia spends almost this entire movie in a coma and has no further effect on the story, so they should have just removed her here. Lucasfilm thinks Leia is more important than Luke for reasons, and it hurt the movie, and it also hurt the next movie. You take a pretty shocking and meaningful event like Leia being sucked out into space, and then you immediately ruin it with this garbage. Also, where's the airlock that lets Leia back inside the ship? I mean, is it this chamber here? But then you have to ask the question, why does the steam blow out instead of being sucked in? Science much?
We are the spark that will light the fire that will restore the Republic.
So say we all! Oh wait, better movie, show.
That's Admiral Holdo? Battle of Chiron Belt, Admiral Holdo?
Don't tell us that the character is awesome. Show us that the character is awesome.
Not what I expected.
I read an article in 2024 where Rian Johnson said at one point an earlier draft of the movie had a romantic backstory between Holdo and Poe, which actually would explain a lot of the tension between them. But I'm going to talk about this character as she appears in the context of the movie that was released. Holdo doesn't work in this movie because she's written as an obstacle character, but she doesn't follow any of the rules, conventions, or plot lines of obstacle characters as we have seen them in other films. So, an obstacle character is not the villain of the movie, they're a character that gets in the way of the hero accomplishing their goals. The central premise of this subplot is that Holdo has a plan, but she won't tell anyone what the plan is. Her plan appears to suck. Poe questions why they are following the plan, and this eventually leads to Poe removing her from command, like mutiny, basically. And this lame subplot is why they removed Leia from the story. Mutiny! Who is the audience going to side with? A character they've known and loved for 40 years, or a character they've only known for 2 years? Obviously, the answer is Leia. So what do? They get rid of Leia and introduce a new character that we've known even less time than Poe Dameron, Admiral Holdo. Now we can do a mutiny plot. Can't believe it. The movie actually got around to introducing Rose Tico only 27 minutes after her sister died. But we'll come back to this later. Let's go over Holdo's amazing plan. Her plan is to let all the ships around her get blown up as she slowly runs away from the bad guys, and then once they run out of fuel, they're going to all jump into the smaller support shuttlecraft, which also require fuel, but whatever. They're going to jump in those shuttlecraft and then try to get down to a planet, which is basically exactly what happens in the movie. So Poe Dameron, like the audience, is thinking, this plan sucks. This is the best you've got? We can't keep doing this. This is suicide.
We had a fleet, now we're down to one ship, and you've told us nothing.
In any other film, you would be like, hey, this is the incompetent leader. They have to go. In the movie, Holdo is portrayed as one of those weak leaders who crumble under pressure. We've seen it a million times before in movies. Here's an example.
The rest of our crew has been evacuated and heading your way. It's been an honor, Admiral.
Then you have the whole deer in headlights, oh, I don't know what I'm doing look, and then forlorn sideways glances from the people around her. And this is telling our movie minds, hey, this person sucks at their job.
Talk to me.
Copy.
Pong. Talk to me. Hey,
He's
Pong!
gone! Get them out of there! Shut up. Do it now!
Shut up!
Hicks, whoever's left, get the
Just
hell out
shut
of
up!
here!
Johnson. Vasquez.
Ahem. You might not have noticed, but your brain did.
When I served under Leia, she would say, hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you can see it.
You'll never make it through the night.
She responds to this by saying absolutely nothing.
Are you fueling up the transports?
Listen to the tone of the music and the editing and how the characters interact with each other. This is bad, dumb, evil commander who's going to get us all killed tone that they're setting here.
You are. All of them? We're abandoning ship? Is that's what you got? That's what you brought us to? Coward! Those transport ships are unarmed, unshielded. We abandon this cruiser, we're done. We don't stand a chance. No, you are not just a coward, you are a traitor.
Everything Poe is warning about there happens later on in the movie, which means he is right and she is wrong. But she is the obstacle character. The obstacle character needs to be wrong, but in this movie, they're right. Subverted expectations.
Finn, Holdo's loading the crew in the shuttle. She's going to abandon ship. Where are you?
Again, this is all set up like a race against the clock, against a despot leader who doesn't know what they're doing. Like, the movie is selling us that concept, but later on it's going to take that concept away. It really can't be overstated how much this character is set up to be the heel, the baddie. I mean, here they're paraphrasing George W. Bush.
Maintain our current course. Steady on.
We will stay the course. We will stay the course. We will stay the course. We're just going to stay the course. We're going to stay the course, and we must stay the course.
At the risk of sounding political, stay the course is now movie shorthand for a character that is obstinate and refuses to change or take input.
What?
Darn it all, we're going to have to cancel Operation Recolonize. So, just stay the course.
So a stormtrooper and a who now are doing what?
They are trying to save us. This is our best chance for escape. You have to give Finn and Rose all the time that you can.
This part is also annoying because Poe, Finn, and Rose have all actively been doing things in order to try and help the fleet, while Holdo has just been sitting around scowling. Again, in every other movie, you would be rooting against this character.
Vice Admiral Holdo, I am relieving you of your command for the survival of this ship, its crew, and the Resistance.
Stories are all about set up and pay off, although Jedi is about not setting things up and then paying off things that weren't earned. This is a perfect example of that, where they set up a bad commander and the audience payoff is you get to see the people rebelling against the bad commander.
Ripley, what the hell are you doing?
But the payoff is ruined because then you find out she was right the whole time, and that's one of the many reasons this movie is not satisfying.
Seal that door!
In any other movie, man, I'm getting tired of saying that, these actions would prove, oh, she does have ill intent toward her shipmates.
Leia.
Leia is now supporting Holdo's dumb plan, which, as far as the audience knows, isn't going to work. We haven't been given the proper information. Hey, Gorman is also knocked unconscious and spends a good deal of the movie not being in command. Remember the part in Aliens where he wakes back up and then punches Ripley? Yeah, me neither.
I like him.
You like the guy that committed mutiny against you.
Cloaking device activated. We should be off their scopes.
Cloaking device activated. We should be off their scopes. Clearly a line added after the fact to make up for the fact that this doesn't look like it would work at all.
Holdo knew the First Order was tracking our big ship. They're not monitoring for little transports.
So we could slip down to the surface unnoticed and hide till the First Order passes.
The thing that would have really fixed this movie is if they would have gone back and changed the main plot to not be about a slow speed chase space race. But the fact that it is means the rest of the plot has to do all these stupid cartwheels and somersaults to make the core plot feasible and make sense, which it barely doesn't. Like, oh, you can jump away from the ship, you can jump back to the ship, all these ships can leave the main ship and somehow the bad guys can't see it. None of it makes sense. And the ships start to get blown up anyway, so I guess the plan was a failure.
Admiral, we're taking fire. Do we turn around?
No, you're too far out. Full speed to planet fall. Full speed.
And note, we're right back to where we were earlier, with her staring out the window like a deer in headlights as her people get killed. I'm done staring out windows. I'm gonna do something. I know. I'll break all Star Wars lore. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you think about this scene from a technical standpoint or hyperspace rule standpoint. This scene breaks Star Wars combat, period. And it sucks. But I do want to talk about it from a character standpoint, specifically obstacle characters. So obstacle characters are always wrong, but then they have a choice. They can either change, learn the truth, or they can refuse to change. If they refuse to change, they get a comeuppance. If they do change, they either get a boon or they have a heroic death. The problem with Holdo is she doesn't change, and she's still given a heroic death as if she's atoning for her mistakes. Colin Farrell as Danny Whitmer in Minority Report is an excellent example of an obstacle character. In the first scene here, he's actually being used as the audience character to introduce the audience into how the world of pre-crime and the precogs work, like how they actually predict murders before they happen. But then later on, the same character is responsible with tracking down John Anderton, Tom Cruise, once they think he's going to be guilty of murder. But again, the obstacle character is incorrect. They think he's guilty, but he isn't. And much like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive, as this movie progresses, Danny Whitmer realizes that John Anderton isn't a murderer, or rather that he's been set up to commit this murder. So the character acknowledges that they were wrong about their assumptions, and they try to make things right, but then they also end up having a heroic death at the hands of the true mastermind, the guy from The Exorcist. How about the most 80s movie ever made? Weird Science. Bill Paxton spends the entire movie antagonizing his little brother. He is an obstacle character. He's like a Biff Tannen. But he doesn't accept the error of his ways, therefore he is made to suffer a comeuppance.
Would you please turn me back to normal, please? I haven't done anything to you.
No, but you've done plenty to your brother.
Like what?
The finest film ever made, Gremlins 2, contains two separate obstacle characters. The first is the emergency medical hologram here. He spends most of the first half of the movie not believing Billy Seltzer and thinking the Gremlins are a myth. The second is Daniel Clamp, the CEO of Clamp Industries and owner of Clamp Tower. In the beginning of the movie, he's set up as your typical boorish, aloof, kind of stupid 1980s yuppie character. They make him out to be kind of dumb and useless, and also he doesn't believe the Gremlins are a threat at the start. But as the movie progresses, he takes the threat seriously and actually proves to be quite competent in dealing with the gremlin menace. His actions and decisions have a positive impact on the progress of the movie's plot.
But when it gets dark out, they're going to try and leave the building and get out into New York. And if they do, I don't know what's going to...
Calm down, please. He should be in custody. He's dangerous.
He's dangerous. This thing that was in here a minute ago, that's dangerous.
Hey, did you notice the part where Daniel Clamp punched out Billy Seltzer? Yeah, me neither. The emergency medical hologram guy never acknowledges his mistakes, never changes, so in the end, he gets his comeuppance. A gremlin wedding. Although, he seems to like it. Conversely, Daniel Clamp realizes the error of his ways and he receives a boon.
Maybe it wasn't a place for people, anyway. It was a place for things. Wait a minute, what's this?
It's Kingston Falls.
Hey, this is what I've been looking for.
And it's also implied that he hooks up with this redhead chick. But yeah, one movie, two different obstacle characters, two different paths, two different outcomes. One good, one bad. Here's a stereotypical 1980s negative yuppie obstacle character, Harry Ellis in Die Hard.
I'm tired of sitting here waiting to see who gets us killed first, them or your husband.
What are you going to do?
Hey, babe, I negotiate $1 million deals for breakfast. I think I can handle this Euro trash. You use a gun, I use a fountain pen. What's the difference? Am I right? Hans, Bobby, I can give them to you.
So we see this character is obviously not good. He's willing to give up John McClane and his wife, Holly Gennaro. So of course, then he gets his comeuppance. Negative character, negative death, as opposed to Danny Whitmer in Minority Report, who had a noble death at least. Okay, now given these rules of obstacle characters in much better movies, let's fix Admiral Holdo. Attention, attention. Our fleet is being wiped out. We don't have many ships left. Princess Leia, I thought I could be as good of a leader as you, but I failed. I now realize I was wrong and recognize the error of my ways. I want to atone. You screwed up. This mistake will haunt you the rest of your life. That may not be very long. What do you mean? I'm going to buy you some time, give you a chance to escape. She's shielding the ships. She's going to ram us.
I will not die, monster.
We've been hit by another ship at a collision course at non-light speeds because that would break all canon. Holdo, she did right in the end. She died a hero. Holdo isn't a good character because she is set up one way and then she is paid off in another way, and it breaks how our brains think about movie logic. There's nothing wrong with subverting expectations, but the subversion needs to be satisfying.
Senor, I...
Vaya con Dios, gringo.
It's cool. It's cool, really. It's... no problem. Vaya con Dios.
Oh.
Okay, Joan Wilder, write us out of this one.
John Wilder? John Wilder? The John Wilder? You are John Wilder, the novelist?
Yes, I am.
I read your books. I read all your books.
That's Admiral Holdo? Battle of Chiron Belt, Admiral Holdo?
The Hunter.